Hi, this is Ant from Your Property Network magazine. We are the UK's leading magazine and resource for active property people. And you might have watched some of our other YouTube videos where we talked about, I guess, how to evolve, from being a property investor to a developer. But today I'm going to go back to basics and look at how to find bargain property deals in minutes online. So the point today is to show you how I search for bargain property deals. So stuff that I think I can buy, add value to, and then either sell on for a profit or refinance and get back out my initial deposit and my refurb monies to leave kind of no money left in deal. And this is exactly how professional property investors start building a portfolio. I've done this 30, 40 times on the types of properties that we're going to show you today. But remember, it's just a start, it's just an overview. And sometimes you'll find a property in exactly this way. Maybe this one isn't available or maybe you can't buy it. But immediately you're having a conversation with the agent about the types of properties that you're looking for. So they get a good understanding of what sort of deals you're looking for and what they can send you. What you don't want to do is go into an estate agent and say, I'm looking for your bargain projects, because they'll send you everything. And most of it won't be what you're looking for at all. So we use our skills here, searching on Rightmove and other portals to hone in on the types of properties that we're interested in buying. And then we can have a sensible conversation with the agents. And we should be able to find potential projects in under 3 or 4 minutes. And when you get good at this, to find something that's interesting, that sparks your interest, you're looking at going, okay, I want to find out further, maybe in less than a minute or two. So I hope you find it. As I said, it's kind of entry-level investment. So your first type of project. So not necessarily, the bigger projects, the bigger developments. We talk through some of those in other videos. So this is, the first types of projects you're going to get involved in. So today I'm looking for potential projects in Plymouth. I buy, invest, own and develop properties in and around Plymouth and a couple of other areas. And so today we're going to be looking at the PL4 postcode. And PL4 covers Mutley and a couple of other areas in and around fairly central Plymouth. So you're going to get to have a look at some of the types of properties that I've bought quite a lot of before in the past, what I did with them, and start to understand the numbers and understand what to look for. So, okay, so we're going to look for properties for sale in PL4. Now, in the areas that I invest in, the types of properties that stack up best, that give the best rental returns for the types of projects, for the amount of money that's invested, tend to be 1 and 2 bedroom flats. Those are going to be the ones that we're looking for right now. In your area, it might be different. You might be looking for 2-bed houses, 3-bed houses, 4 or 5-bed houses, whatever it is. But for me, tends to be the best returns tend to come from 1 or 2 bedroom flats or buildings that have been converted into 1 and 2 bedroom flats. So we'll look at flats and apartments in PL4. I'm just going to add in a minimum 1 bedroom, maximum of 2 bedrooms. Now the reason for that is I don't really want to see the studio flats. Those tend to be more difficult to finance from a mortgage point of view, and I definitely find it easier to rent out 1 and 2 bedroom flats as opposed to studios. So let's just see what we can find. So, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to sort this. So we look at the lowest price properties first as we scroll down, and I'm going to get rid of any shared ownership properties or any retirement properties. So don't show shared ownership and don't show retirement places. They're not really suitable for us as investors. So as we scroll down, you see the first properties that we come to, they kind of jump out straight away because they're priced really, really low. I mean, in this area, I guess 1 bedroom flats I would expect in a reasonable condition to sell it around about 85,000 there or thereabouts, and 2-bedroom places probably 100, 110, something like that, those kind of numbers. So these are priced really, really low, £40,000. But if we look at these are quite sort of new buildings. These are purpose-built student accommodation where you're just buying, a kind of room within a big block. They're not the sort of thing that I'm after. There's very little I can do to add and improve value to those. They're quite difficult to finance. So with these, you're just buying an income stream, and it's not really what I'm after. So we're going to skip past a few of those. So again, sort of student investment there. I want to move past that one. And then we get to our more traditional looking, I guess, stock, as it were. So I'm going to jump on to, let's have a look, this one here. And the reason for that is that I've actually got 4 or 5 properties on Embankment Road in Plymouth. And this 2-bedroom flat is on the market at a guide price of £60,000. Now that seems cheap. That sounds kind of interesting. We can see from the very first picture, so we've got the external shot there, end of terrace, quite a substantial building. The first internal shot is obviously, this looks like something that's going to need a bit of work doing. We are looking for properties that require refurbishment, modernisation, so we can buy the property, add value to it, and create equity. That's what we're aiming to do. So go into this one. As we scroll through the pictures, you can see it's in a bait, to say the least. I'm not really sure what's been going on with this one, whether or not this is something that's just been left uncared for, unloved for a number of years, maybe a repossession, maybe a probate property where someone's passed away, whether or not someone has started trying to rip it out. I'm really not sure what's happening with this one. So what we're looking for is the types of properties where you think, that's kind of interesting, because this would almost certainly put off any first-time buyer or a residential buyer. Most people are going to look at this and not see the potential in it. They're just going to see what a terrible state that it's in at the moment. So this is the kind of thing that we would be looking for. So as I said, this is actually a 2-bed maisonette. I've got a number of 2-bedroom flats on Embankment Road. For valuation purposes, if I was getting a mortgage valuation on these, it would probably come in at around about £110,000. And the sort of rental that I would achieve on this is probably going to be about £575 per month, were this in a nice condition. So looking at this property and assuming that there are no other legal issues that would prohibit me from buying it, so it's not a problem with the freehold of the property or anything like that, then this in good condition is going to be worth £110,000 fairly comfortably, I would have thought. And we would rent this out, and I don't think I've ever had a void period on any properties that I've got in this area, so rent out really, really easily at about £575 per month. Looking at it, if I was doing a very quick sort of summary of how much money is it going to cost to put this thing right, it's probably going to be in the region of about £20,000, £15,000 to £20,000 to kind of get this into a new kitchen, new bathroom, fix all the holes in the ceiling, quite a bit of sort of plastering throughout, new flooring throughout. We're probably around about £20,000 spent on this to get it into a state that people will be really, really happy living in it. So we'll talk through the numbers on this one. So if we bought this property at the guide price, and that's an if, we'd be paying about £60,000 for it. We'd spend about £20,000 on it, assuming that we got a mortgage valuation at £100,000, which we should certainly achieve easily. We could get an 80% loan to value mortgage on it. So we would be able to buy it, refinance, and maybe just leave in £1,000 there or thereabouts in the deal, the cost of our legal fees, that kind of thing. Then we would have a mortgage. Let's assume we're paying about 4.5% on the mortgage. That mortgage would be costing us £300 a month, and we'd be renting this property out with probably none or very little of our own money in it. at a net profit, or sorry, gross profit of 575 per calendar month. And we might employ the services of a letting agent, and there might be some other costs in there, so a bit of insurance, that sort of thing. So, but broadly, this is going to make us somewhere between £200 and £250 a month net cash flow from a property which we've left none of our money in. I'm looking for some of the sort of telltale signs that it might be a repossession, but I can't see any in here at the moment. Normally, if we were looking at the kitchen and that kind of thing, the surfaces might have been taped off, so they're not in use. I can't see that there. However, we've got a bit of paper left on the side here, and sometimes it's difficult, we can't zoom in on this one, but sometimes these are left here as a sort of visitor's log, so that the asset management company has a record of who has viewed the property, how many people have actually viewed the property. So from my point of view, from the outside, that looks a fairly substantial building. We can't see the sort of square footage of it at the moment, but that's probably a decent 2-bed flat, and assuming everything else is okay with the rest of the freehold of the building, that's the sort of property that I would look for and say, okay, we can buy it, we can refurbish it, we can either remortgage it and rent it out at profit, or maybe even flip it on and sell it to a first-time buyer or an investor that's looking to take something on which is a finished product. So that's the sort of property that I would be looking for, and I've bought many of these at this sort of price level. If we were at the sort of beginnings of our property journey, it's fairly low risk, not too much hassle. So we're going to have a look at a couple more and see what else we can find. So Alexander Road, so I'm just going to click into this one now. This is, again, very central area of Plymouth. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, really. It's a bit unloved, and the bathroom's pretty dated, and the decor's pretty tired. But again, this would be the sort of property that I'd be looking to view, knowing that the end values in our area are, as I said, for 1 bedrooms, probably around about 85,000, and for 2 beds in a nice order 110, something like that. Now, this is only a 1-bed flat. If I were looking at this one, I'd be looking at to say, okay, can we turn this into 2 bedrooms? So does it have a big lounge area which we could turn into an open plan sort of living dining area, and then thereby turning what had been the kitchen into a 2nd bedroom? It's difficult to tell on this one just from that. So okay, so let's scroll down. So we've got another 2-bedroom one, again on Embankment Road here. Now this is kind of interesting because we have an external shot of the front of the building and then an external shot to the rear of the building. So it'd be fair to say that this agent has put in very, very little effort into marketing this property. Now, that could be because it's a repossession and they're selling it on behalf of the asset management company, and from selling a repossession that they might only make £300-400, something like that, from the sale of the property. We're going to scroll down. So price is starting to go up a little bit more. You can see that some of these properties are a bit of a better state of repair. So we'll just click into there. Another one, a 1-bedroom place at 70,000 again. Okay, so immediately we can see that they've already got the kitchen in a combined sort of lounge dining area here, so there's probably not going to be scope for us to add value and turn this one from a 1-bed to a 2-bed. So our standout one at the moment, just scrolling through, is our property on a £60,000 right here. So we'll just go back into it really quickly. So I'll just go through the numbers of what I've looked to do this with this one right now. So we'd be looking to buy it for, it's got a guide price of 60,000. If we get it for 60,000, that'd probably be a bit of a bargain. £20,000 on a full refurbishment to end up with a property which we've got a mortgage on of, maybe £80,000. We've still got around about £20,000 or maybe a little bit more in equity on the property. It's making us a positive cash flow from day one. Now, these sorts of properties, they're kind of your bread and butter, I guess, buy-to-let investments, maybe flip projects as well. They're relatively low entry. The cost of entry isn't too high. You can buy it either for cash, maybe with some bridging finance, something like that, or some private finance. And we definitely would be looking to sort of buy, recycle our money, remortgage, take our deposit and our refurbishment monies back out and go again, buy the next property. Okay, so I hope this has been useful. Just as a very, very quick overview of how to search for your first or one of your first few buy-to-let investments. If you want to get more information on this and you'd like a copy of our free beginner's guide to property investing, then go to yourpropertynetwork.co.uk/start. That's yourpropertynetwork.co.uk/start. We'll give you our complimentary beginner's guide to property investing, where we look at all the different strategies. We give you loads of case studies within there, and you can download that straight away and start your journey in property investing. Thank you.